with David Zahl once again. We're thinking through the religion of food. David, last time you were on the program, you mentioned a word, orthorexia. And that's actually a word that I had just recently learned. I was preaching through the book of Hebrews and thinking about that text where it's talking about food laws and whatnot, and how in the ancient church you had these problems with right eating. Well, we got the same problem today. I was just reading an article from Vice News not too long ago. One nutritional therapist said, "I've absolutely seen a rise in orthorexic patients as a nutrition therapist. It's almost rising exponentially. Now I get a new client every week with orthorexic symptoms. It's a serious problem. There's nothing wrong with eating local or being vegetarian or vegan," she says. "I think a lot of those diets are inherently valuable. The problem is that we have moralized eating. Weight, food, and exercise. Food has become presented more and more as the answer." It's a problem today, isn't it?
Oh my gosh.
Moralized food. Wow.
Moralized food, and to go hungry because you're so worried about eating the right thing and not eating the wrong thing. It used to be that you knew someone if you knew the stuff, their favorite foods and what they liked to eat. And now today, it's you know someone if you know what they can't eat.
Interesting.
Right? It's and that's again, a lot of this health stuff, people will come back at you and say, "Well, do you not believe in the science?" It's like, no, the science is true, but there's when we moralize food to the extent that we do, any kind of eating becomes a drama of guilt and indulgence or self-deprivation and self-righteousness in a way that I think takes the joy out of what is, at least to me, one of the great joys of life.
Yeah. This is who I am. And this is why people get really angry about this. I mean, we can't really sit around and joke, "Oh, you're vegan," or but you eat a side of beef for lunch. We can't joke like that anymore because this is who I am. This is where I get my identity. You attack the way I eat and what I believe about food, and I'm going to get upset because I've invested so much in this as a source of my affirmation.
I was just reading an article the other day on the news. A vegan called the police after friends tricked her into eating meat.
No,
because it sort of makes sense in our context, but that's where we are. It's.
Wow.
If you want to go on a deep dive on the internet that's fun, you can look up sort of the vegan video YouTube battles where people are there's a righteousness around the exact right way to be a vegan. It's again, I have respect for friends that eat this way, but it's
they're not finding their righteousness in it.
No, when food is seen as the path to salvation, not only for the self but for the world, we're in a situation where it's a brew that just produces an enormous amount of self-righteousness, and in fact, resentment.
You point out that our national conversation about food is soaked in religious language. You cannot talk about something like fasting without invoking some notion of righteousness. You were just, when we were having lunch earlier, you just held up a can, one of the cans sitting there on the table that said what? No calories?
It's at the bottom of this can. At the bottom of a LaCroix can, and everyone drinks a lot of this stuff these days. It says 0 calories, 0 sweeteners, 0, I think, additives or something like that.
Sodium.
0 sodium equals innocent.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point. And innocent. I mean, there's a difference between healthy, unhealthy, and guilty, innocent. So you're getting sort of absolution in a can. And I didn't even see, I have married to someone who drinks a lot of that stuff, and I hadn't even noticed it. But that's what they're selling you. They're selling you righteousness.
Wow.
How many? Give us some more examples.
Well, if you think about it, fasting today, what do we call it? We call it cleansing. And cleansing is, what are you doing? You're cleaning out your inside. You're purifying your system. That language of purity, people get very worried about the sort of purity culture as it relates to sex in the church. But no one seems to be that worried about the purity culture as it relates to food, which is creating a lot of I think, anguish
Yeah.
in folks. It's not the church culture. I think, think about it. The last time you used the word cheat, were you referring to a broken vow or a diet? And people say, "Oh, I was good. I had a salad," or "I'm being bad. I'm going to eat this brownie." So good and bad. This is moral language, and
The law.
there is the law, and it's always been linked to food. In some, if you read the New Testament,
Yeah.
if you read the Torah. However, it's salvation. I just don't think it's found in another aisle at the supermarket.